Hello and welcome to episode 50 of the Breaking Yarn podcast. My name is Michaeli. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is my podcast where I talk all about my knitting, my crocheting, and my yarn dyeing. You can find me online at breakingyarn.com or anywhere on social media at Breaking Yarn. Today I don't have any finished objects, but I do have 2 WIPs and a future cast on to talk about, as well as a finished object from the community and a little bit of shop update news for you. So let's just jump right into the knitting. My first WIP is a pattern that you saw last episode. This is my Stria Cardigan. Oops, I'm tangled up here now. It's my Stria Cardigan, lots of ends to weave in. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And I am using my 2022 Leap of Yarns Faith Advent for the stripe contrast colors. So you'll see each day is a different stripe, and I actually just finished day 24. So I'm all done with my contrasting stripes, and now I'm just working on the ribbing. This is actually ribbing at the bottom, but the whole thing is ribbing, so it all kind of looks similar, which is cool. So now I'm working on the ribbing, and then I will cast off the body, and then I just need to do the sleeves, and then I think there's like a little bit of edge work, like especially like in the button bands. Here I need to do some sort of edging or something there with button bands, and then I think that's it. Maybe around the neck as well, I'm not really sure. I think I've talked about this in podcast episodes in the past where I don't look ahead in my instructions for a sweater or really any pattern unless they say specifically that I need to read it all before I begin, because I just feel like it's very overwhelming. So I don't know. I'm just assuming based on pictures that it'll have some edging work, definitely in the button band for sure. The main color that I'm using for this is called Coin Flip is Sacred. It's a beautiful silver gray color, and it's the perfect neutral background for all of these fun and amazing colors that came out of the 2022 Advent. I was participating, I think I started it in March for the Adventally Mal 2023, even though I knew I was not going to get it finished in a month. And then the Drea Renee Knits, she does a cowl every once in a while for like sweater patterns and things, and she was doing one from March to May, and so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll get it done in May. Still haven't, but I'm okay with that. I've been using the hashtags for it, and I need to look up if WIPs are allowed in the Ravelry group to see if I need to post anything over there. But otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. I am close to being done with the body, and then I'll work on the sleeves. But this is my main WIP right now, so I am totally fine with just giving all of my attention and love to this one. It does make it a little difficult because it's not a portable project, so it's a little harder to take with me on the road and out. I can't take it walking, that kind of thing, but it's been fine. So my second WIP is basically me fixing a pattern. So last episode I talked about my Walter White socks design and some of the issues or the clarity that I needed to gain around the cable. It is a little bit of a snug fit, and I don't think it's my feet. So I think it is the cable. I've had a few people reach out who are very helpful. Thank you so much if you were one of those people. One person in particular was very helpful and said that patterns that are similar to that, like as far as having like a large cable for a sock, they usually add 4 stitches to each size. So I'm reworking the pattern, I'm re-knitting the sock sample, and then hopefully it will fit better. But I did start that, and I am using Holly White for that. So I just barely have probably half of a cuff done. But yeah, so I'm gonna rework the pattern and see how that goes. If adding the 4 stitches to each size and reworking it and refiguring out the math for each size will be a good decision or not. And you might also be wondering, like, didn't you say it's a Walter White pattern and you're knitting it with Holly White? But I figured it'd be fine to have a pattern that is of Holly's dad. So Walter White is Holly's dad. And I thought that'd be fine. And I have a lot of Holly from past projects that I have used. So it was already wound up and ready to be cast on. So I'm just gonna cast that on. Oh, I mean, I did cast it on. I'm just going to knit that sock and see if that helps with the pattern fit before I put out a call to my testers. And I have this sitting in my little beakers bag, chemistry beakers bag. This is a bag that Danielle of Midwest Stitches had made for my shop, and when my shop gets reopened, I will have a few of those available. I have the small ones still available. Not this one's a medium one from a past update, but I will have a few small ones available again. So I have one future cast on that I would like to talk about. I mentioned it on my last episode that I am pregnant with a little boy and I'm expected to give birth to him. I'm supposed to have him in September, and I wanted to knit him a sweater, but I was having a hard time finding a sweater that I felt was like cute for him. I don't know, like maybe I just wasn't looking in the right spots or I had the wrong filters on or something, but I found one on Etsy, and I think it's an old pattern. It's called 1968. I don't know if that's the pattern name or just like the year that it was published, or like who even owns the rights to this, but I paid for it. It comes with the sweater, the hat, and a blanket. And I decided that I would attempt this sweater for little baby boy. I found in my stash, I have a lot of this quarter round fingering. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna discontinue this base altogether. It doesn't sell particularly well. And I feel like most people, when they are looking for fingering weight yarn, will buy like their fine knitting sweaters out of a nylon wool mix. And this one is 100% superwash merino, which would be great for a sweater. So I have these skeins. This is Breaking Blue. And the pattern actually is a DK pattern, so I figured I would just hold them double. So I have a few skeins set aside for that. And you can tell I've had them for a while because I still have my old, this is my old tag that I used to put on all my yarn instead of the yarn band label. So they've been in my inventory for a while, and I figured let's just use them up. I'll knit them in this sweater for baby boy who's coming in September, and I'm gonna knit him like a 6 month, I think it's like a 6 to 12 month size. I have a feeling that he's gonna be a little on the big side, just because of my husband and also like how he's measuring for my ultrasounds. He's measuring ahead of schedule or bigger or whatever. And since he's being born in September, I didn't want the sweater to be too small by the time winter actually comes. And so I just decided I'll just knit the 6 to 12 month size and hope that it's big enough for him in the winter time when he'll need it. So that's my plan for that. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Summer sock camp started on Friday, and I recently moved into a new house and organized all my knit socks, and all of my knit socks fit perfectly in this little organizer that I got. And when I looked at the sock drawer, I felt very satisfied with the amount of socks that I have for myself, and decided that if I'm going to participate in summer sock camp this year, I will probably focus on knitting socks for my daughter and for my husband, and maybe for baby too, we'll see. But definitely my daughter and my husband, because they enjoy them. My daughter only has one pair of knit socks and they're too small for her. So that's what I think I'm going to focus my energy. If I decide to participate in summer sock camp, I will be knitting socks for them. And of course I'll still continue to knit my samples and things that I need for designs and whatnot, of course. But I just think I'm going to put knitting socks for myself on hold for a little bit until I can kind of just even out some other sock knitting for them. So that's where I am with that. I do have one finished object from the community to share with you. This is from Ashley. She's Ashley's Knitting on Instagram. And she also has a YouTube channel here where she was doing podcast episodes. And I can't remember if she did any vlogs, but I don't know if she's still recording podcast episodes, but check her out for sure. I'll link her channel down below in case you want to check it out. But she just finished knitting the Luna tee, and this is a pattern by Charissa, or Cl.Knits on Instagram, and she used fingering weight in Walter White, and I just think it's such a sophisticated looking t-shirt or tee, as it's called. And I just wanted to share it with you as inspiration for another project in case you're looking for a summer tee to make. I know Nicole of Professor Pearl is doing is it a tee? It's a summer tank top. Maybe it's a tank top, but she's doing a make along this summer for tank tops. And then there's somebody else, I can't remember who it is. If I find their information, I'll put it down on the screen here. But they're also doing a summer tea make along of some sort. So there's a few fun make alongs or knit alongs that are happening right now on Instagram in case you are interested in making anything like that. But I just wanted to share Ashley's beautiful finished object with you all. If you are interested in sharing your finished objects with the community, I do have a Ravelry group for this podcast. I'll link it down below. You can put your finished objects there for projects that you used breaking yarn on, and I'd be happy to share your project with the community and on my Instagram feed and on Facebook and things like that. So check that out if you have any projects that you would like to share with everyone. Also, so the last thing that I want to mention is just kind of where I am with my shop. I have been working very hard in my new dye studio space. It is a learning curve. It's basically like learning how to re-dye my colorways again in a new space. I'm using new tools, new burners. We have a water softener in this house, and I can't quite tell yet if that's messing with anything. But there are a few colorways I dyed that I wasn't super happy with the results on, and so I will be re-dyeing up some of those, and I just haven't been able to get that finished up so that I can open my shop again. And I was thinking I might just reopen my shop even without having fully restocked inventory. And then if there's something that you are interested in or something that you've been waiting for or wanting to get, you can let me know either down in the comments, or you can Instagram message me or email me, or however you would like to contact me to let me know that you need something, and I will make that a priority for you. So that's just kind of where I am with things. I really didn't think it would take me this long, but I have been struggling a little bit more physically, and just like trying to get my priorities straight as far as just like house and everything else that we have going on in the next few months before baby comes. So that's just kind of where I am with things, and I hope to get that opened up real soon. Here soon. I think that is everything that I had to share today on episode 50 of the Breaking Yarn podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today and spending a little bit of time with me. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Have a blessed week. Bye.